come in. Aren't you that student from Jesse's class? What's your name?
Jocelyn.
So you're seriously using me as your source for this historical project because you didn't want to do it yourself?
Well, I wouldn't put it that way.
Fine. What was the question? You have a research question you need?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's on the paper.
You're seriously asking this?
Yeah?
Did occultism really influence World War II? If so, how? Did occultism really influence World War II? This is a question you're asking? Did you not learn anything from Indiana Jones or Marvel?
Okay, well, like...
You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Do you even know what occultism is?
What?
Occultism is defined as matters regarded as involving the action or influence of supernatural or supernatural powers or some secret knowledge of them. Do you know this secret knowledge? Do you think I know this secret knowledge?
I don't know. I don't know.
I've got my ways.
Dude, what?
Do you know what border science is?
No, I don't.
So border science is basically the occultism of the Nazis. The Nazis were fine with using any occultism as long as they called it border science. It's like pseudoscience, fringe science, stuff on the edge that people didn't actually believe in the mainstream media. But these people, they followed it all the way through. My friend Eric Kurlander is a huge man in this field who would tell you all about this. Do you know what dowsing is? Astrology? Talking to the dead? Radiesthesia? Have you ever heard of earth and death rays? What about psychics? Horoscopes? All of these things are encompassed in the Nazism of World War II, influenced and used by the military to gain intelligence. Did you know that the Nazis imprisoned and put in concentration camps anyone who practiced individual or private or public occultism and magic? Did you know that?
No.
1937. Took them all, put them in the concentration camp. Yet, do you know what they did? They then recruited them for themselves. Why do you think they would recruit these people? No ideas? Now imagine this. If you could control the people who create the horoscopes, who create the prophecies, you control the people. Does this make sense to you? Let me explain. There's a quote attributed to Himmler. Do you want me to read it to you? It says, "We cannot permit others besides ourselves to occupy themselves with astrology. It must remain singular privilege. It isn't for the masses." And they took the horoscopes and they predicted that the Allied powers would win. Germany would be victorious, and they used this propaganda on the people using the stars. Did you know Hitler had his own astrologer? Did you know that the other world leaders had their own astrologers? Does this mean that it works? Or that there's something else going on? That is the question. The Pendulum Institute, so was started in 1942. The Pendulum Institute. They called it that because they used dowsing and psychics to actually locate battleships. Dowsing is essentially locating objects or certain things using a pendulum, using dowsing rods. If they cross, X marks the spot. Now, people did this on a larger scale by looking for military ships, giant hunks of metal. They would go to certain locations and they would douse for them. Or they would use psychics. They would use psychics and ask them, where the enemy ships are. Now this is something under the radar, quite literally under the radar. Get it? That was funny, right? Under the radar, because like you're searching for stuff. You know, I thought that was funny. They didn't just divine and douse for ships. They also doused for Mussolini. In 1943, Mussolini was imprisoned and taken, and nobody knew where he was. Over 30 occultists were given the job to find him using these same techniques. 36 people get their maps out and start looking for him. How did they look for him? And this is what we call occultism at the highest level. Although if they saw anybody, any normal person doing this, they'd be out. They'd be dead. But the people up top can do it, of course. The people up top can do anything they want to. That's what we've learned, right? Isn't that what's happening here? Did you know that the Nazis in France raided and kept tabs on every single Freemason lodge and person? Have you heard of the Freemasons? No? The Freemason fraternity, the brothers, the brotherhood, the Masons. This people is a secret society. Many know by name, but do not know by action because it is secret. Why would the Nazis raid and loot this place? Why would they raid over 50,000 different lodges to find secrets? Find ways to gain intelligence if they didn't have any intelligence to gain from it. Not only were the Nazis a little strange with the Freemasons, but Winston Churchill himself was a member. And not just Winston Churchill, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. In this secret brotherhood, in this society of occultism hidden under layers and layers and layers times 33 of meaning, they had some signs. I can't necessarily remember what they all are, but they had some signs that you could identify them with. Did you know that Franklin Delano Roosevelt was also an odd fellow? He was an odd fellow, but he was also an odd fellow in the IOOP.